Hello and welcome to the SimCity 4 Masterclass. My name is SmileyMK93 and in this video we're going to continue our work on airports. Last time out we built the terminal buildings, and in this video we're going to focus on the ancillary buildings such as hangars, fire stations, car parks, other transport links and hotels. We're going to start with hangars. As you can see here, I'm placing down some hangars. These are the Air New Zealand engineering hangars that are available on the Simtropolis exchange, I think. I've chosen these ones specifically because the textures on them are the RMIP ramp textures, so they'll go well with our taxiways. Having placed the hangars, as you see here, we just need to connect them up to the taxiway, and these work just like regular gates from the terminal. Using the TMIP lots, you place your center lines as you see here. And you then place your T intersection pieces to connect with the taxiway. I'm going to skip the T. I'm going to skip the whole operation because you know how to do this from Airports Part 2. That's the completed product. Another key important facility that you see at all major airports is a fire station. Every airport has a fire crew on hand to deal with any incidents that might occur, and so we're going to replicate that here by building our own airport fire station. As with the hangars, we're going to clear some space first, and then we're going to place down this lot here, which to my knowledge is the only airport fire station lot that exists. I'm not sure where it's from. I will look for it and put a link in the description. The texture you see on the lot matches the RMIP apron texture. So it's quite a similar operation to the hangars. You place down plain apron, connect to the taxiway and fill in the missing pieces of fence like you see here. This is nothing we haven't done before. We're now building some road access to the airport fire station. Notice I'm using the SAM7 from the NAM to give our roads a black tarmac texture, which is quite common for roads. Here, to provide street access to the control tower, I've made a stub, and then I've placed the RHW disconnect piece from the NAM over the top of it, and as you can see here, that makes a T-junction to nowhere in effect. And we can now place back in the ARRP stop lines. Newly added to the TMIP2 set of lots is this LHD stop line, which I'm going to use as I'm based in the UK, where we drive on the left. Notice here I've used a short diagonal street piece to connect that little section of street in a nice way. We'll cover details like that in a future video in more detail. We're now focusing on a car park for the hangar workers. Notice I've made a street here as per before, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the airport fence so that it goes around our car park. We're going to pretend there's a security gate here. As we saw in Airports Part 3, there's no real suitable lot that I know of, so we're just going to have to pretend that there's some sort of security gate there. We're placing the fence around to where the car park is going to be as follows, as you see here. Okay, now we're starting to build the car park. The lot set we are using is HH Modular Parking, the black set. I'll put a link in the description for you. I've used the T right entrance there, and I'm using the T number 2 variant for those T pieces. So I have changed my mind. I'm using the T entrance number 2, and the reason I'm doing that, and the T style 1, and the reason I'm doing that is because that gives us these pavements here in a nice way. I'm placing corner pieces now. Note the difference between left and right corner and where it places the pavements. And to finish off the car park, I'm just going to fill in with straight pieces. Okay, so that's our car park complete. We are now going to focus on road access to the main terminal. What we're going to do is we're going to place a circle of one-way road around the terminal. Or, sorry, just south of the terminal. We're going to connect up our access roads to the hangar and control tower, and we're going to put in this second lane for buses. We're going to place down a few bus stops. We're going to need a few because naturally an airport will be a popular destination for buses, and that's our completed array of stops, just dragging through there to make sure that the paths are the correct way round. Having completed the loop of one-way road, we're going to build a roundabout and some roads to provide access to the car park, a fountain for aesthetics, and now we're building the main road connection. Nearly all airports will be served by major roads, so it's important to have some major roads near your airport. To connect, we're going to use this freeway roundabout from the NAM, and we're going to use some tulip pieces. We're using the A2 piece there, as it has left and right arrows. Now our attention turns to this area in the middle, where we're going to put a short stay car park. First thing we're going to build is this toll booth. The reason I'm placing a toll booth here is it's going to simulate a pay gate. This is going to be a pay and display car park, as it would usually be in the UK where I live. Notice there is a street stub there. That is because HH Modular Parking uses streets for its entrances. Because the default Max's street has a grey texture, we're going to use the grey HH Modular Parking set this time. We're starting with a T entrance, as you see here. We're going to fill the whole space with our car park. Here you need to be a little bit creative with the pieces to make sure that all of the pieces fill the area, so your car park fills the area in a satisfying way. With time and practice, you'll be able to figure out which pieces you need to use where. But let me just show you here as an example. Using the T-style 1 pieces here on the end. We're going to put a walkway down the middle for the pedestrians to get to the terminal easily once we're done with this car park. We're using the T barrier piece. I think we're going to use we're using the left version there and the right version at the top, and that just gives us a nice end to the pavement, as you see there. We're then placing T-pieces one tile away from the toll booth. We're going to leave the space between those T-pieces and the toll booth empty, because that will give the car park a nice look and make it a bit more realistic. Essentially what we're doing is we're doing the same on the right hand side as we have done on the left. Ignore me placing those drop off pieces, that was just me experimenting. We're going to use a lot of these straight arrow pieces to create a one-way system around our car park, which is very realistic. Make sure when you place the straight arrow pieces that your one-way system allows cars to get around from the entrance to the exit. And there you go. Using a combination of the pieces you've seen and a lot of straight arrow pieces, we've been able to make that car park. Here I'm just placing down blank apron pieces from the RMIP set to create a walkway for pedestrians to get to the terminal more easily. Now we're going to turn our attention to a long stay car park. These tend to be bigger and further away from the terminal. The reason for that, of course, is because they tend to be more popular. Anyone going on a particularly long trip is not likely to want a short stay car park. We're going to do similar to last time. We're going to place one of these roundabouts. Add 4 times ARD3. We're going to transition to regular road using the tulip pieces that we used before. This time we're going to have a small roundabout, and the road we're just building now is where our toll booth and entrance to the car park is going to be. I'm placing the toll booth here as before, and this time we're going to do something a little bit different. What I'm doing now is placing a one-way road loop. And on this one-way road loop I'm going to place a bus stop. The point of this is to create a shuttle bus service between the long stay car park and the terminal, which will provide us a free service to our passengers. Because as you can see in this screen shot, it's quite a long way from where the car park is to the terminal. And it's not fair to make our passengers walk with heavy luggage right after we've made them pay a lot of money to use the long stay car park. So we build the car parks as before. Here is the completed product. I decided I wouldn't bore you with the whole thing. Notice we also built a small short stay car park for the business jet terminal. It doesn't need to be as big because there'll be fewer passengers using that terminal. Now what I'm doing is I'm using some PED mod pieces. This is the Mountain Trail mod. That's a mod of the original Mountain Trail PED mod from the NAM, and that just provides walkways from the nearer side edge of the car parks to the terminal. And that means that if they're nearer to the terminal they can just walk. Now we're placing some hotels. Hotels are a common feature near airports for quite obvious reasons. Early morning flights, etc. We've placed 3 hotels here, and these are from SimGoober, I believe, and you can find those on the specs. I'll put a link in the description. Here, as you could probably see, one of our hotels did not have a proper street connection, so what we're doing is we're using the SAM1 to create a car park, and I've created 2 stubs on the right hand side, which I've now removed using the RHW disconnector. I can then replop the Fairfield Hotel lot that you just saw me plop, and as you can see, the streets, there is a visual street connection. I'm now placing the mountain trail pieces to create walking paths, as you see, as we did previously. Now, the last thing I want to add is a train station. Airports are often, or most major airports, are served by railways, so adding a train station is a good realistic feature. A good realistic thing to do. Very quickly I'm going to create an overpass or flyover for the main road to go over the railway line. Many of you will be familiar with how to do this. I'm just doing a quick and dirty job here. Basically 7.5 meter ground lifters, raise up, drag out the stubs of L rail, place the flyover pieces from the NAM and drag out. Not going to dwell too much on that as this is not a NAM tutorial. We're now going to place the station. I've gone for a very functional design, which is quite common for an airport station. Much like the airport itself, airport train stations tend to be built more for function than form. As with the long stay car parks, I'm building a bus loop for a shuttle bus to the terminal. Using one-way road, I'm quickly putting down a little power generator to give the station power, and now I'm building some street access. I'm going to add a SAM7 texture as I've done before. And now I'm going to create a small little car park for some to facilitate commuter traffic. This is done with the HH Modular Parking set, as we've seen previously. Okay, so our car park is now complete. We are now going to place the bus stop. We're going to use the same bus stop that we did for the airport shuttle buses. And now to connect the station to the main road, we're going to create a small grade separated interchange, which is quite realistic for parkway-esque stations like this. What we're doing is I've built a little roundabout to facilitate the different ways to get out. You see here I'm placing some Avenue Type B1 pieces. These are from the bottom of the roads menu. We're now going to go into RHW, go into ramps, find the RHW2 Type E1Y, and place, and then connect up some RHW2 and some road to the roundabout, as you see there. To allow access to the other side of the road, we're going to create a 7.5 meter dip. Drag out with L-rail, and then just run the street through the ditch and get it to loop around. Notice I'm deleting some 2x2 tile areas where the curves are, placing the avenue over street flyover pieces. Notice the SAM7 goes away at that point, but there's not a lot we can do. Placing these 2x2 corner pieces from the Rural Roads plugin to make more realistic curves. And now it's time to build the ramps. These are the same ramps as before. We're just going to do the same on this side. And connect up using the 2x2 road curve from the NAM as before. So that is it for this tutorial, or this part of the tutorial. We've done a lot. We've built some very big car parks, some hotels near the airport, some access roads for the control tower, a fire station, some hangars. I'm now putting on the night view so you can see what it all looks like at night. We've also built a train station. So there's plenty of access to our airport for the passengers that will be using it, and hotels for people to stay before their flights. Unfortunately, the lights are taking a bit of time to come on, but they do come on eventually. So you can see how it looks at night. It looks pretty good. I'm aware it's flickering. That's just my recording software, so I apologise for that. And that's our train station on the right. So that is it for part 4 of this SimCity 4 Masterclass Airports tutorial. In part 5, which will be the final part, we will be looking at some finishing touches, such as some extra taxiway markings, some airport roads, and some poppable planes. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Smiley MK, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.